AJB. I would believe in myself and my ability to do my best. I will think, I will listen, I will participate in my own success, I will encourage others, I will act respectfully, I will show kindness, I will make AJB the place to be.
You heard right. Let's slide into the fall break. If you come this Friday, you can wear your slides. That's right. Again, students, if you come to school this Friday, we are allowing you to wear your slides. So, slide into fall break and wear your slides on Friday.
Today's trivia is over Maria Tallchief. Elizabeth Marie Tallchief was born in a small hospital January 14th, 1925 in Fairfax, Oklahoma, to Ruth Porter and Alexander Joseph Tallchief, a member of the Osage Nation. Brought up on the reservation, she was taught to be proud of her Native American heritage and identity. Maria grew up listening to stories, particularly from her Indian grandma Tallchief, who would wear a tribal blanket over her shoulders and a single braid down her back and tell Maria all of the stories from her ancestors and stories of the Osage. Like so many young people before her, Maria Tallchief moved to New York City at the age of 17, chasing a dream. What made her pursuit so unique, however, was her Native American heritage. Tallchief wanted to be a ballet dancer, and American ballet companies did not hire Native American dancers. That changed in 1942 when she joined the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo. Tallchief from Oklahoma was the first ever prima ballerina hailing from the United States. She also started dancing for the New York City Ballet in 1946 and became the first American to dance at the Paris Opera Ballet the following year. She retired from the stage in 1965 and served as director for ballet for the Lyric Opera of Chicago, which she co-founded the Chicago City Ballet. When she died in 2013, the New York Times called her one of the most brilliant American ballerinas of the 20th century. Above all, I wanted to be appreciated as a prima ballerina who happened to be Native American, never as someone who was an American Indian ballerina. She was a Google Doodle in November of 2020. Today's question is, what was Maria Tallchief's occupation? An occupation means job. Make sure you add your first and last name, your grade level, and your answer.
When Maria Tallchief first performed The Firebird for the New York City Ballet in 1949, the audience was mesmerized. The young Native American woman was the United States' first major lead, or prima ballerina, and in that moment, she had stolen the nation's heart, breaking barriers and changing America's relationship with ballet forever. Born in 1925 on a tribal reservation in Fairfax, Oklahoma, Maria Tallchief was first named Elizabeth Marie. Her mother was of Scottish-Irish descent and her father was an Osage native. The same year Tallchief was born, her father's tribe was dealing with the end of the Osage Reign of Terror, a series of murders from 1921 to 1925 that targeted wealthy Osage members for their land. The tribe, who had been forcibly removed from their homeland and relocated to Oklahoma, was living on top of one of the largest oil reserves in North America, and outsiders wanted a piece of it. The result was the killing of over 60 Osage natives, including those in the Tallchief family. But Tallchief members survived, and the Osage inheritance was passed down to Maria's father. And it was here, in the small town of Fairfax, Oklahoma, in the basement of a hotel, that Maria Tallchief took her first ballet lesson. She was just 3 years old. But ballet wasn't always the prima ballerina's only focus. Growing up, Tallchief and her sister, Marjorie, took piano lessons, and for a while, her mother was sure her daughter was destined to be a concert pianist. It wasn't until the Tallchief family left Fairfax for Los Angeles that she began to focus more on dance. During her time at Beverly Hills schools, Tallchief says students constantly teased her about her name and Native American heritage, making war whoops and asking where her feathers were. At one point, Tallchief and her sister had to perform a Native American dance at a county fair. But then she met Madame Bronislawa Nijińska, a prominent choreographer from Poland. It was studying under Nijińska that helped shape the young ballerina into the precise, elegant dancer she would become. When she was 17 years old, the star pupil left Los Angeles and moved to New York City. A premier touring ballet company Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo had relocated from Paris to New York. It wasn't long before she became a soloist. But once again, the honor didn't come without its obstacles. The ballet world was dominated by Russian and European dancers, and they thought Americans weren't up to par. When Tallchief became the first American to dance at the Paris Opera, French headlines read, "Redskin dances at the opera." She was even told to change her name to Tallcheva. She refused. While at the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, Tallchief met renowned Russian choreographer George Balanchine. His choreographies demanded strength, grace, and speed, and Tallchief perfected them. The pair was drawn to each other, and in 1946 they were married. That same year, they moved back to New York and co-founded what would become the New York City Ballet. Balanchine placed Tallchief front and center in every piece and choreographed one of her most signature roles, the Firebird. The choreographer and his dancer even transformed the perception of the Sugar Plum Fairy in the Nutcracker. The ballet is now an American holiday classic. At one point, Tallchief was the highest paid ballerina of her time, and then, at the age of 41, after years of accolades and achievements, Tallchief retired. She divorced Balanchine, moved to Chicago, remarried, and had a daughter. But she never left the world of dance. After a long career as a dancer, instructor, choreographer, and director, Tallchief died at the age of 88, but her legacy lives on. Not only did she blaze a trail for other Native American dancers like herself, she put American ballet and Americans in ballet on the map.
This week in basketball, the boys play Wallace Middle School on Wednesday at Wallace. Games are at 5:15 and 6:30 p.m. The girls also play Wallace Middle School on Thursday at Seguin High School. Games are at 5:15 and 6:30 p.m. Good luck, Toro basketball.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey, it's time to fight. Everybody yells, gold and white, gold and white. Hey, hey, let's do it again. Everybody yells, go fight, win, go.